Every day, parents send their children off to school with the hope that they're getting the best education possible. However, for some students, the lesson they're learning is different. Tonight, we begin a series on the hidden bias of good people. 2 Works for You's Vincent Hill shows us the hidden bias in green country classrooms.
Imagine being the brunt of a classroom joke by your teacher.
All of the kids in the classroom, they laughed, and I giggled too.
It's likely happened to you.
He actually commented on the way that I spoke.
Now imagine being yourself around your classmates.
I spoke to my white peers as if I were speaking to my black cousins.
Then realizing the teacher's joke actually made fun of your culture.
He said, I bet you probably write exactly how you speak.
That's exactly what happened to Nehemiah Frank. It impeded his learning from that point on.
I hardly would raise my hand in class. I became very withdrawn.
Despite his teacher's not-so-funny joke, Frank went on to become a teacher himself and later a principal. But he says things like this happen in schools all the time. Good teachers with hidden bias.
It even happens if the teacher in the classroom is black. We all have implicit biases. We're all kind of shaped by the society that we live in.
Frank says hidden bias lead to more than mean-spirited jokes. It can mean fewer black kids in green country schools.
When it comes to African-American children, whether they're a male or female, they are more likely to be suspended.
We know there are disparities. That's what gets the attention because that's what this is all about.
Melanie Poulter is with the Oklahoma Community Service Council.
African-American students are about 2.5 times as likely as white students to be suspended in Tulsa Public Schools.
Poulter monitors equality indicators for Tulsa Public Schools. In the 2018-19 school year, 1,308 black students were suspended compared to only 477 white students.
Not because African-American students are exhibiting behaviors that merit suspensions at a greater level in general.
Poulter attributes it to one common denominator.
What some research has shown is that when there are higher levels of racial bias within a community, schools tend to exhibit greater levels of disparity in disciplining students of different races.
Frank says awareness is vital in a fair and balanced education.
That impacts their mind, it impacts their learning, it impacts the implicit biases that teachers may have that they're completely unaware that they have.
Poulter, meanwhile, says helping teachers understand their hidden bias is the key to the future.
If we want all students to succeed, then we have to understand what those students and groups of students are dealing with and make sure that we're providing equitable resources and opportunities so that they can achieve equitable outcomes.
The Equalities Indicator report also showed for the 2018-19 school year, black students were absent 1.5 times more than their fellow white students, and 17% of the 12th graders from financially disadvantaged homes dropped out of school. Vincent Hill, 2 Works for You.
Now, happening this Sunday, 2 Works for You is teaming up with leaders from all across our community to talk about the hidden bias of good people. Starting at 6 p.m., join Vincent Hill and me for a special edition of 2 Works for You. Then the special Hidden Bias of Good People. And then we hope you'll stick around after our special for a town hall discussion on bias with green country leaders. That's only on 2 Works for You. We'll see you Sunday night.